Which cryptocurrency is being attacked by the SEC after XRP? How long will crypto holders believe in Ripple? How much will XRP cost in mid-2020? 3. We will answer all these questions in today's video. The lawsuit between Ripple and the SEC has amped up anticipation for a resolution. Pro-XRP attorney James K. Fallon had predicted that Judge Annalisa Torres' ruling would be issued before the end of March, and this was relied upon by some members of the XRP community. XRP holders started to watch in bewilderment as his prognostication did not come true. As many XRP backers have been left wondering why Judge Torres didn't rule yesterday as expected, CryptoLaw founder attorney John Deaton has identified the few people who may have inside information as to when the ruling will be issued. Deaton claims that only Judge Torres' staff and the court clerk would know when a decision in Ripple V's SEC will be made. According to Deaton, only her staff and any clerks who helped her with research or helped the decision will know before the judge publicly issues her ruling. His most recent claim is a rebuttal to XRP supporters' assumption that Ripple and SEC officials will be aware of the date. It's worth noting that Deaton's remark follows just a few hours after he said it could be up to 60 days before Judge Torres issues a ruling. Specifically, many XRP supporters were let down when Judge Torres did not issue a ruling on March 30. One is predicted by Fallon. In response to a question, Deaton explained that the deadline for Judge Torres to issue a summary judgment was not yesterday. He said the judge's decision could come as soon as this hour or as late as 2 months from now. Deaton stated that based on Judge Torres' past cases, summary judgment is typically issued by the court a few months after Daubert's motions have been decided. Deaton is actively involved in the lawsuit as an amicus curiae representing the XRP community, friend of the court. In his role as amicus curiae, Deaton is rooting for Judge Torres to rule in favor of XRP investors by determining that secondary market trades of the cryptocurrency do not constitute a security. Yesterday, Deaton discussed 4 potential positive outcomes from the lawsuit that could benefit XRP holders. Deaton hypothesizes that in any of the 4 possible outcomes, Judge Torres will rule that XRP secondary market transactions do not constitute securities. But Deaton said he would try to get the judge to clarify the crypto asset. Just like he did with the El Brie case, if Judge Torres grants a summary judgment in SEC's favor and fails to comment on XRP, in recent weeks, the XRP community has been quite optimistic. The price of XRP shot up as optimism about Ripple's chances of winning its lawsuit against the U.S. suit against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, reached new heights. But CNBC Mad Money commentator Jim Cramer's recent comments that the SEC may lose its lawsuit against Ripple have given the community more cause for anxiety. Cramer is heard saying in the video that has gone viral on crypto Twitter, SEC says, look, they're generating securities day after day after day. There's a Ripple case, they may not even win the Ripple case. But the Binance is very, very different. It's important to put the pundits' forecasts in perspective by remembering that history shows his projections seldom come true in either the conventional or cryptocurrency markets. One reason is because, inadvertently, he promotes the buy high, sell low strategy. Recently, he has put his trust in Silicon Valley Bank and First Republic Bank, which turned out to be a mistake. The former went bankrupt earlier this month, and First Citizens is buying it up. The latter, on the other hand, is seeking to plug a $12 billion hole in its balance sheet before it can go back on the market. While Inverse Cramer has already dismissed XRP as a scam, the XRP community hasn't had anything to worry about until recently. Cramer's comments that Ripple had a chance of winning the SEC action prompted a price drop in XRP, according to attorney John E. Deaton, who is representing thousands of XRP holders as a friend of the court in the case. After hearing Deaton's comments, a local resident dubbed Cramer's backing the kiss of death. After many days of double-digit percentage increases, XRP is now down 1.39% in the previous 24 hours, using the adage even a broken clock is right twice a day. Another commenter expressed hope that Cramer's forecast in the Ripple would be one of the rare times the pundit would be true. Someone other argued that it doesn't matter since the pundit didn't say it with his customary conviction. Yet he still thought it was a narrow escape. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, charged Ripple and its officials with violations of securities laws in 2020 for using proceeds from the sale of XRP to finance the company's operations. It said that the blockchain payments business should have filed paperwork to get the asset officially recognized. The prolonged legal struggle has waited for a verdict for almost 2 years. ARK Invest CO Kathy Wood has shared her thoughts on the verdict. According to her analysis, the SEC is likely to lose the lawsuit. Yet she offers no justification for this assumption. In a recent interview, Wood detailed the SEC's previous court defeats, saying, "It looks that the SEC could be on the road to losing the Ripple lawsuit as well." It's important to note that recent court decisions seem to side with the blockchain payments startup in the ongoing legal struggle. According to the news outlet, Ripple's chief legal officer Stuart Alderodi said the company's confidence increased with each ruling after Daubert motions were dismissed by Judge Annalisa Torres. In addition, Ripple has recently filed letters wherein it cites decisions from other cases that support its fair notice defense. The SEC has apparently answered these letters at long last. The judge in Voyager's bankruptcy case made certain words that were used in Ripple's response, but analysts remarked that the response did nothing to undermine Ripple's claims. As a friend of the court, attorney John E. Deaton represents thousands of XRP holders in the ongoing legal dispute, and he has informed the community that a verdict on so-called summary judgment is imminent. Wood's recent comments were made in response to questions regarding the feasibility and time frame of a U.S. Bitcoin spot ETF being authorized by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Using quotes from judges in the Grayscale appeal, the head of ARK Invest criticized the commission for being inconsistent in their approval of Bitcoin ETF products. As was mentioned in a prior piece, courts questioned the SEC's rationale for approving a futures ETF, but rejecting a spot ETF despite both having similar fraud safeguards. As a result, Wood believes that Grayscale will get a favorable verdict in June. She said the SEC would have to decide between rescinding its approval of the Bitcoin futures product or allowing the Grayscale spot ETF. You may recall that Wood's ARK Invest, in conjunction with 21 shares, has twice filed an application for a Bitcoin spot. SEC has twice denied the offering, most recently in January.